Hi everyone, today we're going to do a troubleshooting video on how to inspect what the problem may be if your hose continuously pulsates even when your jump jet system or pulsation system is off. So the first thing you want to do is identify where the jump jet is. So on most standard 4018s it's going to be up here on your control panel stand, but sometimes it's going to be down here on your frame. And on higher pressure models, it might be, higher flow models, it's going to be located on the back of the pump. So first you want to figure out, is it the jump jet system? So you're going to remove this 90-degree fitting and you're going to replace it with a 1/4-inch plug, turn on the machine, turn on the water, and see if the pulsation goes away. If it goes away, it probably means that the check valve is bad and needs to be replaced. Once you've eliminated the check valve, the next thing you want to inspect is whether there might be a problem inside of the pump. So you're going to remove this pump to reel hose, which is located on the inside of the pump, and you're going to turn on the unit and turn on your water and see if the water is pulsating out of it. If it isn't pulsating, then that indicates there may be a problem either in this pump to reel hose or your sewer hose, possibly like a kink or something of that nature. If it is pulsating, then that means there's a problem inside of the pump. So what you're going to do then is you're going to undo the nuts, bolts, and washers, the 8 of them on the back of the pump, which is going to allow you to slide off the manifolds. And then we're going to take those inside to a workbench to inspect the internal components. So we have removed our pump heads from the jetter, and pro tip, it is a lot easier if you loosen up these Allen head bolts while it's still on the machine. And then when you've got it on the bench, you'll be able to unscrew them and take them all out easily. So what we are looking for, I'm going to just open up these heads. And we're going to check for a couple different things. So the first thing we're going to check for is I'm going to put my finger against the ball in here, and it should spring back against my finger. If it doesn't, I'll show you how to inspect any components that may be damaged inside of it. Also, on this head, you want to put your finger into these holes, and it should also spring back against your finger. So it's these 3 balls and these 3 valves here that should all be springing. If you find that one of them is not springing back, I'll show you how to remove them. So we're going to start with this side. What you want to do to take these out, all of these are very precisely machined, so we don't want to damage them. So we're going to use just a bit of cloth or a rag and a flathead screwdriver. And what I'm going to be doing is pressing up against, I'll show you here, I'm going to be pressing against the ball and trying to get under the lip to pop it up. I'm going to go round the edges to try and loosen it up on all sides without damaging anything. So I'm just going to put it, I'm pressing against the ball and I'm just going to pop up a little bit. And I'm going to try and do it around a few different sides until it should pop up for me. And it may take a few goes, just be gentle with it. Like I said, they're very precisely machined, so you want to be really delicate with them. And it's popped out. And once it's out, what we are going to be inspecting is the inside of here. And I'm going to show you an example of one that is a damaged one, since this is actually a brand new pump. But an example from one that has been taken off of a machine. I'm just going to rotate it. And what you're looking for is damage on the inside here and on this edge as well. So this outer edge on the inside, I've got a couple examples to show you. So, and sometimes you got to see it in the lighting to see there's damage internally in here. And what that can do is allow air in, which can create cavitation. We're also going to inspect the ball that's inside and the spring. So the spring is what should be allowing it to bounce back against your finger. But so we want to check that that is fully intact. You want to inspect the ball to see if there's any pitted on it. So I'll show you again. This is a brand new one, so it's absolutely fine. One that came off of a jetter is this, and you can see it's very pitted. This can also cause cavitation. Once you have determined that the spring and the ball are fine, you can pop them back in. We're just going to put them against it. I'm going to pop them back in. On the other head, we'll put that aside for a second. On this head, what I'm going to do to remove these valves is I'm going to use a socket and a mallet. Again, you always want to be careful with pump parts. So you don't want to use a hammer. A mallet is the best way to do this. And I'm going to put the socket up against this inside ring here, and I'm going to pop it out. And what's coming out here is these two parts. And what we were looking for in the springing back here is actually this little internal spring here. If that spring is broken, you need to replace this whole valve. Once you have replaced any damaged components within the pump, you're going to put this back in with this side facing up. You're going to make sure it's seated nicely, and then you will put this in, and that hole should go straight on top of the plastic tip there. Pro tip, what you're going to do is take one of your Allen bolts, pop it over the top. You want to make sure first that it is seated properly. Take the Allen bolt, and we're just going to knock it in there until it's flat. And you can tell when it is flush, so I'm not quite flush yet. We're going to try and make that flush with that. Okay. And we're going to press this straight in. Once you've replaced any of the internal components that need to be replaced, you're going to put your pump head back together. You're going to put your Allen bolts back in, and you are going to torque these to 60 foot-pounds. When you put your bolts in here to attach them back to the pump, remember you're going to go from the inside out. If you have any other questions or need help with any troubleshooting, just give our team a call.